All right. Good morning. Good morning once again. So today we are going to look at tracking your numbers. Okay. So as a business owner, we need to know our numbers. We need to know what is happening with our business. I see my screen has disappeared. Let me reshare. Okay, so we need to know our numbers for us to be profitable. If you have ever done a traditional business, or if you just watch people that run traditional businesses, when you ask them, how much did you make last month? They are able to tell you sometime. I made 100,000 last month. They are able to tell you how much do they pay in salaries and all of that, and how much profit they have made. They know their numbers. As FBOs, I feel like we don't always track the numbers and understand what we're supposed to know as business owners. So today's exercise, we are going to track our numbers for the month of Feb. And this will be a guide of how you should now start doing that on a weekly basis in your business. Okay, so why numbers matter? If you track numbers, you are able to improve. You know whether you are making a profit, whether you are making a loss. Are you talking to enough people? Do you have enough people in your sales team? All of that. And if you don't track, it means you are guessing, and sometimes we wonder like, why am I not, succeeding? Progress. Sometimes we wonder, why am I not succeeding? It's because we are guessing. You look at yourself, you're making sales and you're like, oh, I'm making a lot of profit. But are you actually tracking the actual numbers? So clarity is what's going to give us confidence. So today, the 5 numbers that we are going to track, it's our sales for the month of Feb. We are also going to track our expenses. We are going to track the value of the stock that we have. We track our case credits, and we are going to track the activities that we did in the month of Feb. Okay, so type a 2 for me in the chat if you are ready. Are we ready to start? Do you have your pen and paper with you? All right, I have Susan. Perfect. I have 1%, Dr. Mercy, Erica. All right. Okay, perfect. So we want to start. We are going to start with the sales that we did. So we need to know your total monthly sales. Be honest with yourself. You don't have to share your paper with us. So when you are writing down, be very honest with yourself so that you can do a proper assessment of where you are. So on your notebook, where you have your notebook, write down the total sales that you did in Feb. So you have to know how many tooth gels did you sell. If it was aloe vera gel, just write the your total sales that you made. So we have to be fast because we don't have a lot of time. So once you are done writing the total sales that you made, just type it 3 there in the chat for me. So you're just adding up from the 1st of Feb up until the 28th of Feb. What is it that you sold? And we are counting things that you sold and you have the money. So you gave your client a product and they gave you cash. Those are the sales that we are counting. So write it down quickly. Type it 3 for us in the chat when you are done. And also, if you recruited someone, we count that as a sale. So you would write the 7,100 for the box, depending on which country you are. That is a sale that you made. Let's do that. Okay? And then type it 3 for me in the chat when you are done. It should be fast. We should be knowing these numbers. We need to have somewhere where we are recording ourselves. Let's type a 3 in the chat if you have done, you've written the number for the sales that you made in the month of Feb. Okay, so I have one person, two people, three people. Let's get to five. Let's get to five. Okay, perfect. If you did not make a sale in the month of Feb, that is okay. Write sales 0. Okay, you write sales 0. Then we now want to look at our cost. The cost will be the price of the product that you sold. So you need to know how much do you order the product for. If you sold one aloe vera gel, 560 is the sale. On the cost, you're going to put the price of the product. If you are an assistant supervisor, that means it's about 392 or somewhere there. You write that as part of your cost. If you had to courier the product, you write the cost. How much did you courier the product for? Or if you drove to deliver the product, estimate the fuel that you have used. So this is for all the sales that you did. If you sold a C9, how much did you order it for? Did you have to go deliver it to the client? Write that down. And then you will type a 4 for us once you have your cost. So your what you consider to be your cost for the products that you have sold. If you wrote 0 for the sales, you still have the costs. Maybe you were attending presentations, you paid for Rise Up, all of those are all costs associated to your business. So add that up and write your cost. Doesn't matter that your sales are 0, we still need to do that exercise of listing down your expenses. So you are considering the tickets for Rise Up, the trainings that you attended, the presentations that you went to. Write down the cost for all of that. Okay, we don't have a lot of time, so these numbers, we should already be knowing them. Are we learning something from this exercise, guys? Looks like most of us don't know our numbers. Okay, so type a 4 for me in the chat when you have listed your costs. Doesn't have to be perfect. I will share the slides. I will share the slides, then you can do like a perfect calculation. But for now, we just want to work with the best estimate that you can come up with. So type a 4 for me in the chat when you have done your costs, your expenses. For those that have just logged in, we are just doing a simple exercise of tracking our numbers for Feb. So the first thing that you do is you write the money that you have made in Feb. So the sales that you made, all the products, you don't have to list them. You can just put a total of what you sold, and then you write a total of your expenses in the month of Feb that are related to the business. So the money that you bought that product for, your transport, the trainings that you had to attend, your Rise Up and all of that. Those are all expenses. Then you list them. All right. I have 3 people that are following. Thank you so much. They have written down their costs. Okay. Now we want to calculate profit. Yeah? So you are going to take whatever you wrote as your sales. If it was 0, you take that. If it was 100 Rand, you take that. And you subtract your total cost. Okay, so you are taking your sales that you wrote down, you are subtracting all the costs that you wrote down, and you are going to get a profit figure there. If you are done with calculating your profit, type a 5 in the chat. If you are comfortable with sharing your profit, you can actually type the number for us in the chat. So if your income was 0, it means you don't have a profit because you are going to get a negative number. If it's a negative number, don't be scared to share it. Remember, this exercise is to show you where you are at in your business. So if you are comfortable, you can type for us your profit. I see one person is done with calculating their profit. Those that don't mind, please share with us in the chat whether it's a profit or whether it's a loss. You don't have to write the amount. You can just share profit or you share loss. If you are comfortable with writing the amount, you can do that. Okay, let's be fast, guys, because we are going to run out of time. So it's simply taking your sales and subtracting your expenses. Then we are going to have a profit figure or a loss figure. Just tell us, okay, Coach Gwen says it's a profit. Fanny is done calculating. So I only have two people that are following the calculations. Okay, Leader Dotia is done. Okay, perfect. It's fine. We'll work with those 3 people. So from the exercise that we have done, you should be able to identify from the stock that you had which products are moving fast and which products are moving slow, because you will be able to see what is it that you sold in the month of Feb. So we've calculated our sales. Let's just look at this breakdown. Okay, this is what we have done. We wrote our sales, we wrote our total cost, we calculated the profit. Now ask yourself, are you on track for your goal? Are you on track for your goal? Looking at the profit figure that you have calculated, and ask yourself, are you on track for your goal? What do you want to achieve? Are you on track? If your goal is to buy a car, is your profit making sense for that car? Is it making sense for the house that you want to build? Is it making sense when you joined, you said, I want an extra 5,000? Are you on track for your goal? Okay, so Coach Gwen says she's on track. Little Tsipidi says not on track. Little Selehale says not on track. Okay, so we have a lot of no's. Okay, that is fine. Let's go to this slide here. Okay, I want us to go back and look at the expenses that we listed. So probably you said I sold aloe vera gel 560. I bought it 392. Maybe you subtracted your money for the PEP or Uber courier, right? Those are the expenses that you took into account. Did you take into account your transport to the product center to collect the products? Did you take into account the data that you have to put in to attend trainings, to do Zoom presentations? On your expenses, did you take into account the samples, the one that you take and give to clients to sample the products? That's an expense because it's a product that was supposed to give you money, but you have donated it. Or when someone buys a C9 and then you give them a tooth gel, that tooth gel, it's now a cost because we are not going to recover that money. Did you take into account your printing, the events that you go to. So you had to fly to a different country, you had to drive to a different province. Did we take into account that when we were calculating our expenses? Transport, yes. Data, no. Okay. Some people, they are on Wi-Fi, so you have a fixed amount every month, which is fine. Then you know that my cost is this amount. So if you have taken into account all the expenses like Coach Gwen, that is perfect. So if you haven't, that's something that you need to think about, because there are certain expenses that we incur, but we don't consider them. We always think my profit is how much I bought the product, less plus I deducted from the price that I sold it for. But there are so many other things that are happening. You travel for events, you travel for presentations, for product launches, you send the products via courier, you give clients samples. All of that are expenses. So next time you are thinking of, I want to travel today, I want to give this product, remember that it's a cost that is going to affect your bottom line. So you have to add all the running costs that you are incurring in the business. And that can also help you make a decision. We always say that you have to invest in the business for it to grow, for you to see the profit. But sometimes you have to ask yourself, is it worth me doing one, two, three at the level that I'm at? So there are certain people here, your sales are on zero or your sales are below 1,000, and you've had transport, the trainings you have to attend, right? Because you have to attend your training, you have to learn about the business in order for you to be successful. But let's say maybe you traveled to Namibia because there was a success day there. Where did that money come from? You have to start asking yourself, if my sales are zero and my expenses are 4,000, where is that money coming from? Probably it's coming from your personal pocket, from your salary, or from the other businesses that you are running. Then you ask yourself, am I on track for my goal? Because sometimes you'll be thinking, oh, it's nice, it's amazing, we are having fun going out, doing all these things. But every month you are actually just taking money from your pocket and doing things that are not necessary. Are you on track for your goal? Why did you join Forever? Did you join Forever to fund this lifestyle, or you join Forever for extra income? So don't come in and try to compete with others at your expense. Your business must fund your expenses. If you are at sales zero, it means now we need to learn how to sell, because we need to have the income coming in. We need to learn how to recruit, because we need to have the income coming in. There are certain expenses you cannot run away from. You need internet, you need training, but you cannot be continuously funding them from your own pocket. You need to now go and develop and exercise the skills that you are learning, so that the business is bringing in the income that you need to fund those expenses. Okay. So, now you have to look at the stock that you have. How much is the stock that you have in your house worth? Does anyone know, without having to go and check? Do you know how much stock you have in your house and how much is it worth? You can just say yes or no. If you know the amount, you can tell us if you're comfortable. If not, it's just either a yes or a no. You need to know your total stock value. You need to know your total stock value. You see people that are on TikTok speaking negative and crying, they have garages full of products. It's because you don't know your stock value. And if you don't know your stock value, you don't know what you have in stock, how are you still ordering? How are you still stockpiling if you don't know what you have? How do you calculate how much money you can make if you don't know what you have? You have to know to say, in my house right now, I have 32 jars, I have 10 Arctic Sea, I have this. Because when a client comes and says, do you have tooth gel? What do? Do you say, wait, let me check? Then you go and check in your stock. You have to know, okay, I have Tujo, they are 10. I have Alus, they are 3. I have this, they are this. And you know the value of the stock. Because sometimes we say, oh, this business is not working. I don't know where my money is going. And yet you have a house full of stock that is worth 100,000 because we are not tracking it. We are just buying stock, maybe because you have a goal that you want to meet, but you are not actually tracking the value of the stock that you have. Sometimes you can be looking for an extra 10,000 and you don't know that the stock that you have is actually worth way more than that 10,000 that you need. So the next goal is, let me go and sell the stock because I can get 10,000 from my stock. And you have to know what type of stock is it, because when you go to the center to restock, some people end up with 100 tooth gels. It's because you are not checking what is it that I have. If you know that I have 10 tooth gels, when you're going to restock, you know that I don't need to buy tooth gels because I have them. So that is another importance of tracking your stock. Identify the stuff that you have in your stock that is not moving. Some people can have a lot of stock, but you know that, okay, the aloe vera gels, they are being bought. People are coming, they're placing orders. These head lotions, I've had them for 3 months. This is the slow moving product. And tracking your stock, you can see, okay, this one is about to expire. Have you ever gone to your shop, you're looking at the products and some of them expired 12 months ago or a month ago? Why? Because you were not keeping track of what you have in stock. And now once it has expired, you can't sell it to customers. So knowing the stock that you have is very important. Every end of the month, you see how forever they have to close the office because they want to check how much stock do we have left. They are doing their stock counting. Why do you not do that as a business owner? Every end of the month. In fact, you track it weekly, but at the end of the month, you have to do a final stock taking. I had 10 aloe vera gels. I sold 5. Now I'm left with 2. Where did the other 3 go? Because when you're not tracking your stock, you can actually also be using the products and not realizing how much you are using. If you realize that last month I had 10 aloe vera gels, on my sales I have 0, but I'm now left with 2 aloe vera gels, it means you are too expensive for your business because they ate when you are the one who drank them. And how much profit did you lose drinking those aloe vera gels? You need to know and understand that. So do your stock taking. Track your stock every week. But I want you to do this activity when you have time later today or now in the morning before you go to work. Do a stock audit. Calculate how much stock you have. Calculate the value of those products. and plan on how you are going to get that stock out. Okay, we are out of time. So understand your target CCs. Okay, what rank are you working towards? You are an assistant supervisor. You want to become a supervisor. How many CCs do you need to get to that rank? And break it down into weekly targets. So what rank are you working towards? How many if you are not working for a move up, maybe you have a target of how much money you need. How many CCs does that equate to? And break that down into weekly targets so that you know that are you on track? Are you not on track? So you write your target, you write the CCs that you need, and you set yourself a weekly target in terms of CCs. So if you are just someone who wants to master doing 4cc, you require 4cc in a month. A weekly target will be I have to do 1 case credit a week. If you are someone who wants to close supervisor, you need 10 case credits in a month. Your weekly target will be 2.5 case credits per week. That is how you are supposed to break down your goal so that you are biting in smaller chunks and you do not choke. Okay? Then another thing you have to track is your activities. A lot of times we say this is not working, products are not moving, people are not joining, but are we tracking our activities? You know, when we were at the managers convention and Kuchi is the one who was training us about activities, and she was showing us how many activities she did in the year 2025. She knows exactly how many product launches, how many WhatsApp presentation, how many Zoom presentation she did the whole year. As an assistant supervisor, as a supervisor, as a manager, as a senior manager, do you know how many activities you are doing? Are you tracking your activities? How many people do you talk to in a month, in a day? How many people have you followed up on? How many presentations do you host in a week? Do you even do presentations? Is it WhatsApp? Is it on Zoom? Do you do one-on-one? Because when there is no activity, it means there is no results. So you need to track your activities in as much as you're going to track your sales, your expenses, your inventory or your stock, you also need to track your activities. Because if you wrote 0 on that income, or if you wrote no, I am not on track, your problem is on activities. You are not talking to enough people. You are not doing enough follow-ups. You are not attending trainings that the company is hosting, product training, all of those things. So no activity equals no results. If you do your activity tracking, you will find that it relates with the income that you see. For those that say, I only did 1,000 worth of sales, if you ask yourself in Feb how many product launches I did, how many presentations I attended, you will see that the level of activity that you did in Feb, it correlates to the income that you also received. So you need to work on your activities if you want to see the results. So for the next week, this is our challenge. For the next 7 days, we are going to track the conversations that we have, which means you're going to track how many people you've reached out and spoken to. You're going to track how many follow-ups you did. This is with customers that wanted products or people that wanted to sign up. You are going to track your sales. You're going to track your CCs, and you are going to track your expenses. That is what a business owner does. You track these 5 things. People that you're talking to, people that you're following up. How many sales have you made? What are your expenses? How many case credits is that? If you manage to do this on a weekly basis, trust me, your business will improve. Are we taking on the challenge? Type a one for me if you're taking on the challenge. We have 3 minutes left, so I'm just gonna rush through the last slide. So reverse engineer your income. You start with, our coach Barry, he always says, start with the end in mind. So start with your target. I want 10,000 this month. Okay. So that's how we are going to work this month of March. Start with your end goal. My end goal is 10,000 profit. Then ask yourself, how many products is that? Depending on what you are going to be moving. If your target is C9, depending on your level, maybe you just need to sell 10 boxes to make that profit. But if your target is the smaller products, ask yourself, how much do you want to make? How many products is that? How many CCs is that going to give you? And how many people do you need to talk to in order to sell that much products? Okay, so that is how you must run your business on a month to month. Give yourself a target and then go to your business and see how can your business fit into your target. You have to have the mind of a business owner. An employee will ask, how much did I make? A business owner will ask, what did I track? So you are a business owner. You are focused on tracking your business. Sometimes you do not always start profitable. Sometimes it's not always about how much did I make. But if you are able to track your activities, your income, your expenses, you see where you can improve and you build more income. I wanted us to have this discussion, but maybe I'll post it on WhatsApp. Maybe I'll post it on WhatsApp because I see that we don't have enough time. I wanted us to just look at what number shocked you, when you were doing your calculations, which number was like, oh, you didn't expect it and all of that. But I will take a screenshot and then we can answer that in the WhatsApp group to say what number shocked you, where are you leaking money, and what are you going to start tracking on a daily basis. Okay. So I will share, I think I did record. I hope I recorded. I will share the recording. I will also share the slides in the group because I think I saw a message, someone asking me to share the slides in the group. I will do that. And then I will share this. Just reply for me there in the chat, especially on the group discussion, to say what number shocked you the most, where are you leaking the money, where is it going, and what will you start tracking. Okay, I will share that. I hope you did find value in today's exercise, and I hope you will continue to do it even after this presentation. Make it a weekly thing, a daily thing that you can track, so that we can all grow in our business. Happy new month, and I wish you a very, very productive day. Let's go out and implement.